So what packet and week are we going to be doing today?
We're going to be going over week 5. Now that I know it's 2 separate packets, I'm going to make sure I don't confuse people. I'm going to clarify some things, and I changed the schedule with the right page numbers, but I'll go over that at the beginning and make sure everybody's kind of set. What's going on, Dr. Armstrong and Asia and Damari? Hey, Miss Short Tyson. So I'm gonna get. I have Rihanna on Teams, and I have people in live. We'll get started in just a few minutes. Hey, Miss Harris or Chris. I don't know which one's on, but welcome. We're gonna get started in just a couple minutes. I'm gonna share my screen so people can see kind of the do now, just to get us back into the mindset of what we were working on Tuesday. Let me turn my camera around. What's up, Kadira? All right, so the do now is just what are the economic issues that the aviation industry is facing. We kind of went over that on Tuesday. You can go ahead and put it in the comments. We'll discuss once we get going in a couple minutes. I'm going to stop sharing for just a minute so I can start the recording, because I put all of the recordings on in the files. It's on the chat, but it's also in the files if you go to the Teams page. So you can access it. If there's anything you want to get clarified, you can. Huh?
Is it assignment on Teams on files? Do we have to do it there too?
No. So no. We'll discuss the do now. The reason I put it in Teams and in Canvas is just so you can have whatever way you want to turn in the work. So if you do the graphic organizer on Teams, you don't have to do it in your packet. Or if you want to write it in your packet and then complete it in Teams, then I'll get it that way. But I'm just giving you multiple opportunities to turn in your work.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want you to have as many ways as you need to get me your work so you can get credit for the work for the fourth quarter. So we'll get started in just a minute. The do now questions on the board, our compelling questions, are at the bottom of the screen. The do now questions on the screen, the compelling questions at the bottom. So we're going to just have a quick discussion in a moment. Just like always, if you're on live and you want to join me on Teams, you can. If you want to go live with me, you can. I will try my best to monitor who's in Teams with me. So when I call on people, I'm doing it equitably, and I'm not just using the same people over and over. Welcome everybody who's joining. The do now questions on the board. We're going to talk about it in about 30 seconds. Is what we went over on Tuesday about the airline industry, the aviation industry, and how it's been impacted economically by the coronavirus pandemic. So about 30 seconds, and then we're going to start talking about it. All right, so would anybody like to join me on live to answer the do now question? or put it in the comments. I'll take it either way. If you want to join me. All right, so Ramonte's joining. And remember, if you join, don't show your face. Well, maybe Ramonte's not. Oh, there you go. Ramonte. Are you there, Ramonte?
Yeah.
All right, so our question are, what are the economic issues that the aviation industry is facing? Do you have an answer to that question from Tuesday from Source D? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Ramonte? Okay. So, Rihanna, would you like to comment? I don't hear Ramonte. I just want
to. Huh?
Do you have an answer to our do now question?
I'm still here.
Yes.
All right. So, what is an economic issue that's facing the aviation
the economic
industry?
issues that they are facing is, for instance, like they're out of business, so that they're not making enough money to pay bills for the airport, because they have to pay for like essential businesses. They have to pay for like gas bills, the water bills there. Got to pay for other stuff there, like the electrical bills and stuff like that.
Okay. So why don't they have enough money to pay their bills?
Because with this coronavirus going on, they have been shut down, and so they're not having customers coming back and forth inside of the airport, coming like on airplanes and then leaving and stuff like that. So they're not making like money for business.
Perfect. So they're not bringing in any money because people aren't flying. Very, very few people are flying. There are a couple of people that are flying, but the airlines really aren't bringing in income, and they still have bills that they have to pay. Okay. So they aren't bringing in any money, and they still have bills to pay. Were there any other economic issues facing the aviation industry as a whole? Let me see. Do I have anybody else? Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Not any that I have.
Not any that you have. Does somebody in the live have any comments on what economic issues the aviation industry is facing from our discussion Monday or Tuesday? No comments? All right. So I am going to pull up our, let me make sure you can see it, Rihanna. I'm going to pull up our information from Source D, which is on your page 3, I think. That was the issue on Tuesday. I had the wrong page numbers. All right, so when we said our aviation industry, right? The first part, it says the aviation industry suffers from cutthroat competition, price wars, and poor financial health. Okay? All of that was before the coronavirus issue became big. Okay? So they were already suffering from cutthroat competition, price wars, and poor financial health. Right? So that was an economic issue that they had prior to the pandemic. After the pandemic, or since the pandemic has occurred, just like Rihanna said, they are not bringing in income. They are still having to pay bills for essentials, and it's starting to bankrupt some aviation industries. Okay. Does anybody recall what some countries were doing to help bail out or help deal with.
Yes.
All right. So Zanel, is that you?
Yes.
All right. So Zan. Okay. So hold on. So what are some countries doing? I want to get the question out so everybody on live can get it in case they're adding to their charts. What kind of support or what proposed support are some countries doing to bail out or help out the aviation industry? What do you got, Zanil?
Italy has recently given government money to support its airline.
So they're giving. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Alitalia in France is considering similar moves to rescue affected companies.
Okay, so one of the proposals or one of the things that's happened is Italy has recapitalized or giving government money to the airline, but they're not just giving the money to the airline. The airline then becomes kind of property of the government. So the government is making decisions about the airline because the government gave money to support. And France is considering something similar, right? So countries are starting to nationalize some of these industries that have been hit. They're not just giving them money, they're actually giving money to take control or partial control of the companies, all right? So that was one of our vocabulary terms, and I'm going to share that now. One of our vocabulary terms was nationalization, all right? It's the transfer of a major branch of industry or commerce from private to state ownership or control. When we say state ownership, that means the government, right? So nationalization is the transfer of major industries to state ownership or control because the government or state is giving money to that industry, all right? So the countries are going bankrupt. Not the countries, the industry is going bankrupt. The government gives money to help the industry out, but then it takes control or ownership of the industry, right? So if it's not owned by the government, would it be part of a command or a market economy? If it's not owned by the government,
a market.
It's a part of the market. If it's not owned by the government, it's a part of the market. So great job, Rihanna, and great job, Zanel. Now, if the government exercise a nationalization option, right? Does it remain in the market or does it become command?
Command.
It becomes command, right? So the government making the decisions is command. The businesses and consumers making decisions is market. Because of this pandemic, nationalization is starting to become an option. So some countries are shifting from private market economy ideals to more of the government controlled economy or command ideals, right? Did anybody see anything on the news related to meat and the government?
No, I did.
Okay, who is that, Rihanna? So can you tell me what you've heard?
I heard that they about to stop selling meat because it's not selling enough, or like people not buying it.
Oh, it's Darian. So Darian, did they say they're gonna stop selling meat? Is that what you heard?
Yeah, I heard something because my grandmother just when she called me, she told me about what they said on the news.
Okay. So what's happening is in some of the processing plants, because you don't get meat directly from the farm. A lot of these places send it to a processing plant, and these processing plants have people working in them, and they're starting to get sick, right? So they're shutting some of the plants down to keep the safety of the workers in place, right? So the president used what's called the Defense Production Act. We talked about it last week with the ventilators and the mask and the personal protective equipment But he did something similar to keep the meat processors open, right? So if the government or the president is making a decision, would that be market or command?
Command.
Command, right? So one of the things about the United States is that even though we're a mixed economy, we rely heavily on market economy ideals or principles, which means that the government makes some rules or regulations, but most people can still do what they need to do to maximize profits, which is market based. But because the president is forcing people and businesses to do certain things, it's moving to more towards command ideals. Okay. That being said, I don't want to spend any more time going over stuff that's not related to your essay because I want to get straight into it. Yes, Ramonte, great job. I just want to clarify some things from Tuesday. I want to apologize because on Tuesday, I told you some wrong things based on what I thought, because on Tuesday, wait, let me pull it up. On Tuesday, I had my pages mixed up, and I don't want to do that to you today. So I want to go over the revised schedule, and this is on Teams. This is on Canvas. All right. So we're in week 5. I didn't realize it was a whole separate packet. When I got it off of Canvas, it was one packet. So I just did it based on those pages. So source D that we looked at with the industries, source D is on pages 3 through 5 of your packet, of your week 5 packet. Week 5 packet. Okay. Source D is on pages 3 through 5 of your week 5 packet. The graphic organizer that we were working on was on page 8. So source D, you'll read, and then you'll come up with the economic issues facing the 4 industries on the graphic organizer on page 8. And we're gonna do that together in just a minute with one more industry just to catch everybody up. Source E is on pages 6 and 7. So source E is on pages 6 and 7 of your week 5 packet. You're going to read the proposals from the governments or from the countries, and you're going to fill them out on your graphic organizer on page 8. By the end of the class today, we're going to go over our essay outline. So we're going to break down the different details of filling out your essay outline together on page 9. When we finish today, the idea is that you can take that essay outline to answer our compelling question and write a 5-paragraph essay that gives your reasoning for why you answered the question the way you did. Any questions?
Yeah, I got a question.
Absolutely.
Can you take this online?
Can I do what?
Like, can you take the essay online?
Can you type it online?
Yeah.
You can write it or you can type it. I'm going to put the outline on Teams, and you'll just have to open it up and type into the outline.
All right.
But yes, you can turn it in online. If you do it in the assignment page on Teams, then I can get it there. You don't have to send me a picture. You don't have to, I don't have to get the paper copy of it. But whatever's easiest for you. Okay? Any questions before we get into our work? All right. So what we're going to do, if you turn to your week 5 packet, page 8, if you turn to your week 5 package, page 8, there's a graphic organizer. Move this over. There's a graphic organizer on page 8. On the far left column, it has the 4 industries: the aviation industry, the oil industry, it has the global markets, and it has the financial sector. We are going to do oil industry together, and then we'll get into our essay outline, okay? Your second column asks about the two economic issues, or the two economic issues are going to be from source D. That's going to be from source D, which is on pages 3 through 5. Okay? So source D, pages 3 through 5. The proposals to address the economic issues, what are the countries trying to do to solve the economic issues? Those are going to be in source E. So source E is on pages 6 and 7. Okay? All right, so we clarified the page numbers, correct? If you have any questions, put it in the chat, put it in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions. And again, I apologize for confusing you about the page numbers. So, two economic issues for the oil industry from source D. One proposal to address the economic issues from source E. And then we're going to answer the question, would proposals give more control to the government or the markets? So we have these two options. Again, we're going to be doing the oil industry. We're going to start on page 4. So I need everybody to go to page 4 on your week 5 packet. We're going to be in paragraph 8. We're going to be in paragraph 8, and we're going to be looking for some of the economic issues that face the oil industry. Okay, so page 4, paragraph 8. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to read this.
My page 4 is blank.
Your page 4 is blank?
Like it has like lines, you know, that you play for Hangman.
Are you on the week 5 packet or week 4 packet?
I am on the week 5 packet. Yes.
Okay, so in week 5, and I'm going to show you what it should look like. So week 5 on page 3. On page 3, you should have support.
Yeah, it should say the economic questions.
Okay, so that's the week 4 packet.
Wait, what? Oh, sorry. And how I get on page 4?
How do you get what?
On week 5.
You are on packing that name. You have to be on week 5.
Oh, week 5 says the start of 5 says number page 3 says what's back.
All right, so Zanel, if you don't have the week 5 packet, again, this video is gonna.
It says weeks 4 and 5.
The packet that we have just say week 5. It don't have week 4 and 5. It only say week 5, and then it say science on the front of it.
Okay, so again, Zanel, if you don't have it or you don't know where in the packet it is right now, it's fine. Just pay attention to our screen, and we'll be able to clarify it, and then you can use the video if you do find it, or just do it on Teams. Okay. All right.
Did not hear most of the stuff you said because your mic was messing up, but I heard pay attention to the screen, so I'm just do that.
Yeah, pay attention to the screen, and we'll get you squared away afterwards. Cool?
Yep.
All right. So on the screen, I have paragraph 8 from page 4 of your week 5 packet. I'm going to have Darion read our paragraph, and we're going to see if we can identify the economic issues facing the oil industry. Zanel, you don't have to unmute, but Damari said in the comments that the week 5 packet is towards the end. All right, so we'll clarify that in just a few minutes, but Darion is going to read what we got on the screen, paragraph 8 from the week 5 packet on page 4. Go ahead, Darion.
The oil markets are in no better shape. Global oil consumption is expected to witness its biggest fall in history, hurt by a temporarily ban on travel, factory shutdown, and other measures to contain the virus. The fall in oil demand could easily outstrip the loss of almost 1 million barrels a day during the 2008 to 2009.
Recession. Recession. Yes. Bloomberg
reported compounding problems is an outgoing price war launched by
Saudi Arabia.
I found it.
Okay.
Has pledged to flood an area oversupply market with cheap crude. Oil prices have fallen by more than 50% this year.
All right. So, based on that, what are some economic issues facing the oil industry? You can put it in the chat. You can join me on live. It doesn't matter, but I would love to hear some comments. Zainel, you said oil prices. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, let me hear from Rihanna, then I'll hear from Zainel. I think I heard you, Zainel.
So what I have is oil prices have fallen by more than 50% this year.
Oil prices are okay. So oil prices have fallen by 50%, right? Oil prices have fallen by 50%. What does that mean? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing because they fell down.
Okay, but why is it bad? Why is it bad?
Because the prices fell down, so that means that when the prices was up, they was getting money. Well, they still are, but like it's just bad because they're getting less money.
They're getting less money. What's the whole point of a market economy? What's our whole goal of our market economy? What are we trying to do in a market economy?
Get a bunch of money.
Make a bunch of money, make profits. If the price drops, am I making as much profit? No. So when oil prices come down, that's an economic issue. What other economic issues did we find in our paragraph? And I'm sorry, my people on live, I had the screen down.
I got one.
All right, what do you got, Darion?
Hello.
Hold on, Ramonte.
The fall in oil could the loss of 1 million barrels a day.
All right, so there's a fall in oil demand. What does that mean?
Also,
Hold on, Zainel. What does that mean? What does the fall in oil demand mean? Do we know what demand means?
Like basically, it's a
Hold on. Let me hear Rihanna first.
It's basically a synonym for command.
Okay, it sounds like command, but it's a little bit different, right? So if I have
You don't have a choice that you have to do it.
yeah, like I demand give me my money back.
Okay, that's a great definition of demand. That's not what this demand means, right? So if I go to the grocery store, okay, if I go to the grocery store, what are some things that I might not be able to find right now?
Like tissue.
Toilet paper, right?
Tissue, paper towels.
Okay, toilet paper and paper towels, right? All right, so toilet paper and paper towels we don't have right now because the demand is higher than the supply. Okay? The demand for toilet paper and paper towels is higher than the supply. What does demand mean? What do you think it means? Anybody?
The source?
Okay, the source. What do you got,
Um,
Ramonte?
food, some food. Food
So
is hard
did
to
you
find.
hear my sentence, Ramonte?
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah, I
have something
did.
that I was
All right, so hold on, Rihanna. Let me hear Ramonte's answer.
I
All
think
right, so Ramonte, you're breaking up. I don't know what's going on.
me neither.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop it just so until you get it straightened out. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. So Rihanna, what do you have?
So I have, it's basically like an order or an assistant. So basically, you don't have a choice to do. You have like, it's basically, how do you describe it? It's basically like an assistant or order, basically.
So you're thinking about the demand when somebody makes a demand of you. Hold on, Zanel. You're thinking about a demand when somebody makes a demand, right? When your parent says clean your room and demands that you clean your room, that's not the same thing, right? So in the market, who makes the decisions?
The owner.
And the owners and who else?
The government.
The government makes the decisions and command. Who makes the decisions in the market economy?
The business
The
owner.
oil district.
The owners and who else?
The company.
The market.
The customers. Who's making the demand for toilet paper right now? The owners or the customers?
The customers.
The customers, right? So the people who use it, the people who are buying it. So the demand, right, for oil is low. So what are the customers doing with the oil? Are they buying it or are they not buying it? The demand is low. They're not buying it, right? Think about our airplanes. Yeah. Airplanes use oil, right? Oh, airplanes.
Yeah, demand means like resist, not like, well, never mind.
Okay, give me a moment, Zanel. Mute your mic for me, please. Okay, so there's no demand. Planes use oil. Planes aren't flying. We don't need as much oil. The demand is falling and the prices are falling, right? So those two things are the economic issues facing the oil. There's a fall in demand. So we're going to add that to our graphic organizer on page 8. There's a fall in oil demand, and there's also a drop in the oil prices. So not only are they not selling as much, when they do sell it, they have to sell it for a lower cost. So what do you think's happening to oil industry? What's happening to them? Think about what happened to the aviation industries that we talked about on Tuesday. They're going bankrupt, right? So now we got to figure out how to help, right? So one proposal is to have recapitalization or nationalization where the government takes over some of these countries. Let's go ahead and go to page 6. Let's go to page 6. Let me make sure it's page 6. We're going to go to page 6 to try to figure out what the proposed answer is. Actually, it's going to be page 7. We're going to go to page 7. All right, so everybody's going to go to page 7 in their packet. We're going to look at paragraph 9 under the subheading Loans to the Rescue. Rihanna, can you read paragraph 9 for me?
You want me to read it?
Yes. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, it's the one that say a bailout?
No, it says Loans to the Rescue.
Oh, Loans to the Rescue. Between 2009 and 2010, German state-owned development lender KfW provided $110 billion in government-backed loans allowing tens of thousands of firms to stay afloat and rescuing millions of jobs.
All right. So just paragraph 9, Rihanna. So what was the proposal for helping out some of the industries?
Can I say it?
Go ahead.
They provided $110 billion in government-backed loans.
Government-backed loans, right? They did it in government-backed loans. Now, when the government gives you a loan, does the government run your company? No. Right?
Technically, because they gotta give the money back.
Because you got to pay the money back, right? So they're just giving guaranteed loans to the companies to help them pay those essential bills or to maintain until they can get till the industry can recover, right? So the loans, Zanel, mute for me, please. So the loans are another option as opposed to nationalizing, okay? So we're going to add that proposal here, okay? So the oil industry has an opportunity to have government-backed loans, right? Now, here's the tricky question, and I would love someone in the chat on live, not on Teams. So Teams, my Teams people, keep your mic muted. Somebody on live put in the comment, would a proposal that includes a government-backed loan give more control to the government or the market? Remember, it's a loan. It's not nationalization, meaning the government has control. So government-backed loans, these companies and industries have to pay it back. Is that a give more control to the government or the market? Somebody in live, put it in the comments for me. Anybody? Alexis, Tony, Damari, there's a lot of you in here. Kadira, Trevante, any of you can put it in the chat. The market, thank you, Amaje. The market has the control with this proposal. The market has the control. Any questions? Can I scroll up to which one?
Government loans.
The government loans, like here. Alexis asked me to scroll up. Do you need to see the chart?
My page not like that.
So it's just the one section. So on page 8, it's 4 different industries, Darion. Do you see that?
Yeah.
I just have the oil one.
All right.
Because since we're only going over oil today, I'm only doing that one. Okay? Zanel, mute your mic for me.
All right.
Okay. All right, so we've done the oil industry. Okay? So with the last few minutes, I just want to get some questions. I just want to answer any questions. You can go live and ask me a question. You can put it in the comments. All right, but I want to give you a couple minutes to ask any questions about page 8, because page 8's graphic organizer in week 5 and back in week 4, your graphic organizer is going to help you to fill out our outline. Any questions? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to our outline. Okay, let me get our compelling question. And I'm going to scroll all the way down to our outline, which is on page 9. So everybody, let's go to page 9. Let's go to page 9. So we are going to start completing our outline for our essay that's going to answer our question. Should governments or markets control the economy? Okay? So before you start any outline, you need to come up with a thesis statement. Our thesis statement is restating the question, providing our claim, which is our answer to the question, and then a brief bit about the evidence that we're going to give to support our answer. Okay? Our thesis statement is going to be to restate the question, give our answer to the question, which includes our claim, and then a brief outline of our evidence, a brief statement of our evidence. Restate our answer A, make our claim C, and provide evidence E. What does that spell? Nobody. Are y'all with me? People on Teams, people in the chat. Huh? I'm talking to everybody who's with Mr. Hamilton right now. Okay, so we're going to restate, answer, claim, and evidence. What does that spell? R-A-C-E.
Can you repeat?
Race.
We're gonna do races for our thesis statement. All right. So everybody's thesis statement should start out the same, right? Because we're gonna restate our question, and then we're going to include our answer to the question. All right. So who should control the economy based on what we know? Should the governments control the economy, or should the markets control the economy?
The government.
So Rihanna said markets, Zanel said government.
Market.
Okay, so
Bruh. Okay.
it doesn't matter. You can have different opinions. It's okay. It comes down to providing your evidence. So let's go ahead and write our answers. So Zanel's answer would be the government should control the markets.
Because the oil I'm gonna just say company for now, because the oil company went down the most.
So the government should control the markets. Hold on. The government should control the markets because ... If you think the government should control the economy, you're going to start off with that for your thesis statement. If you're like Rihanna and you believe the market should control the economy, so the people, then yours is going to start differently. Rihanna, you think the market should control the economy. How would your thesis statement begin?
I actually changed my answer. I said the government because the government was the one that was like giving like actually money. They was actually providing money for companies that didn't have money and needed money.
Okay, so that's just in this. Hold on, Darian. So Rihanna, that's just in the pandemic, right? This question doesn't specify the pandemic. This is just in general. We just use the example of the pandemic. Hold on, Darian. So we're just.
I'm also like debating on both of them because like it could be easy to vote, and I don't know which one.
And
I have evidence for each one, so I don't know.
And I love the fact that you have evidence for both. That means that you're thinking and you're not using one source or one piece of evidence to determine your answer to this question. Okay? So what we're going to do is. All right, sorry, that was my doorbell. What we're going to do is we're going to write a thesis for both. Okay? We're going to write a thesis for both. So how would a thesis for markets should control the economy begin? Give me one moment. Nobody's coming downstairs. Oh. I'm sorry. I'm here. I'm still here. I'm still here. Forgive me, my live people. All right. So, Rihanna, what would a thesis statement that supports the market controlling the economy start with? How would it begin?
So I would say the market should control The market should control the economy because
Basically, that's how all your thesis statements should begin. You're restating the question that includes your answer and claim. All right. After the because, you're going to lay out the evidence that you're going to present in your essay. Okay. So that was a great start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a separate video tomorrow because we're almost out of time. We're going to do a separate video tomorrow. I'm going to put it in Teams. I'm going to add a link on Instagram so everybody can see the video. And we are going to fill out our outline. Does everybody understand? Give me some hearts if you understand in live. Rihanna understands. Zanelle understands. Darian, do you understand?
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I am going to go through the outline in a video that I will make tomorrow. What I want to do right now is I want to go back to our plan. I want to go back to our distance learning plan. Oh, that's not what I wanted to share. And I want to make sure everybody knows what is expected of them. Okay? So, weeks 4 and 5. Week 4's packets started out with a tweet summary. Okay? So, you will have read the article on page 3, give me of the 3 economic questions, and give me a summary on page 4. It was supposed to be done last week. There's no penalty. You can get it to me at any time. Okay? But try to get it done because it's going to help you with your later assignments in this learning plan. The second assignment is the graphic organizer on page 8 for week 4. You're going to read source B and source C. You'll read source B and source C, which was about the command and market economies. We did that together. And then the graphic organizer is on page 8. That was also due last week, but definitely get that done because that's going to help with your essay. The because, but, so sentence completions are also on page 8 of the week 4 packet. Week 5 only has 3 activities. The graphic organizer on page 8 of week 5 comes from source D, which is the one with the economic issues that the industries are facing, and source E, which is the proposals to help out the industries. All of that's going to be on page 8. And then what I'm going to create a video and I'm going to put it in Teams tomorrow, and I'm going to add a link to Instagram, is the outline for the essay that answers our compelling question: should governments or markets control the economy? If you feel confident, you can start your essay outline. If you don't, wait for me to post our video. Cool?
I'm gonna wait.
That's fine. If you feel confident, it's fine. But if you don't, wait for me to post a video to walk you through how to make the essay outline. And then once you finish that, you can begin writing your essay. Okay? But up until now, I need you to have your summary finished from page 4 in week 4. I need you to have your graphic organizer and sentence completions finished from page 8 of week 4. I need you to have your graphic organizer on page 8 of week 5 and the outline from page 9 of week 5. Alexis, so with page 8 in week 4 is a separate graphic organizer than page 8 of week 5. Okay, so page 8 has the 3 columns. One is the economic issues. That's going to come from source D. I'll pull that up. me see. That's what we were doing together earlier in class. So this is for Alexis. So page 8 has the economic issues. It has the proposals, and then it asks who has more control, the government or the markets. That's the page 8. You're going to do it for the 4 industries. We did oil today. We did aviation on Tuesday. You're going to do financial and global on your own. And you're going to give me 2 economic issues for each, a proposal, and then who has more control, the government. With your essay outline, I'm going to do a separate video tomorrow. I'm going to make sure you all have access to it, and we'll get that squared away tomorrow.
Did you say global on here?
Did I say global?
Yes.
We didn't go over it, but yes, global is in there. It's on the graphic organizer.
Now I'm talking about what you had said. The ones we got work on. What are those ones?
Oh, global and financial. Global markets and financial sector. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So that being said, thank you all for being so attentive. I love the comments that everybody made and participation. All right. We got some crazy stuff going on in the chat. All right. So thank you, everybody on Teams. Thank you, everybody on live. I'm going to put the video for the outline in the chat tomorrow. All right. Thank you.
Bye.